We're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul. And we are joined tonight by team podcast and now dog owner, Charlotte.
Yay!
So hopefully we'll be getting a little appearance later on, depending on when she gets attacked or basically what happens.
It'd be very fitting for this week's episode.
I can wake her up.
Yes, so this week we thought we'd take it easy, do a nice chilled episode, because we've had a few intense ones lately. Like I said, Sandman's, if you caught us for the episode on Friday, was, and I still haven't watched the new special episode because my wife's away and she would kill us if I watch it.
My mum rang me yesterday to tell me not to watch it. Because when she saw the title of it, she went, "This is not for you."
Actually, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, don't.
If my mum goes out of her way to ring me to tell me not to do something, I'm like, okay, I'm listening. She said, she just went, "Sam, it's not for you." She went, "Really, it's not. Just trust me. It's got nothing to do with the story. You're not missing anything. Just please don't watch it."
Don't watch the first bit because it's 2 hours long. So it's kind of like 2 episodes. Don't watch the first bit. Watch the second one because the second one is really good. The second one's got quite a few guest stars in it. It's got
Tennant.
No, they're doing voices.
Yeah, they're doing the voices of all the cats.
In the first, yeah, so that's in the first
And
bit.
Michael Sheen.
In the second bit, is it Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who? And
Oh my God, Arthur!
yeah, he's in it. Derek Jacobi. He was in Doctor Who. I can't remember his name. He's in it. It's really good. The second bit, I love the second bit.
Cool. I am gonna watch it. Like,
And
don't pull faces like that.
You'll cry. I nearly cried.
I cry at everything.
I nearly cried. You'll cry.
Yes. We're not doing the Sandman part 2, if you
No,
might not
sorry.
No. But it does fit in nicely with, how are you doing? How's everyone doing? How are we keeping?
I'll still never get used to that cheese.
I'm gonna try and improve it. I am gonna try and make it more and more creepier and ickier as we go along.
I'm fine. Like I say, I know we already just did this a few days ago. But I did watch something quite interesting over the weekend that it was, like I said, because it wasn't a film, wasn't a TV show, because I've got to stay away from everything new until Nick gets back, because I get told off for watching anything. But I did watch a documentary about an American football player who got catfished. So he thought he had his girlfriend, and the catfish told him she died. So he he dedicated his final season playing college football to her death, and it was all a hoax, and he didn't know, and the media went crazy about it. But it was quite interesting to watch.
This is the one on Netflix. Was it the girlfriend that didn't exist or something?
That's the one, yes.
Yeah, it's on our list.
But like the media totally spun it in a way that shouldn't. Like they said that he had something to do, and he was just trying to hide his sexuality, that he was really gay. And they really went balls to the wall to get this guy just because he'd been catfished, and it was horrible. But
oh my God, that sounds like one to watch.
but Netflix are doing some great documentaries at the moment, like with everything that's coming out lately. So
I know when I'm missing them all, I'm not watching them for some reason. That's why, because I am now totally obsessed with Call the Midwife. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. It's gone from Downton Abbey to Peaky Blinders to now Call the Midwife. I'm moving up in times, you see.
Sam's having a midlife crisis early, so. But we don't judge him.
I am obsessed with Call the Midwife at the moment. I absolutely love it. I would love to live in that time, but obviously not have the woman's role. I quite like mine right now. I like that I can vote.
Yeah.
So, do you want to get your disclaimer out of the way? Because you forgot it for a second.
Hang on a minute. Charlotte, are you all right?
Yeah, I've just got a dog. I'm brilliant.
Excellent.
That is the news of Charlotte dog.
I have a dog because I'm good.
Awesome.
Taking strange photos of Kev while he's asleep and posting.
I wasn't taking a photo of him. I was taking a photo of the dog.
Yes.
Don't have to defend anything here, Charlotte. Not after what he did for your setup. So
I know. Got his back.
Everything discussed in tonight's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you want to discuss any topic from tonight's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group and we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone come for us and tell us our opinions are wrong. We can agree to disagree in fandom, so let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Very well done. Like I say, that's better than how you do it.
No, that's gonna be a running thing, and I'm
gonna
make
Joey from Friends.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make it work. I did notice last week I was watching the beginning of the last episode we did, and you were nodding along to my disclaimer because it's kind of like now going in a pattern, like.
Right. We're gonna get a jingle of it, so like say we get some music, we'll get Adam involved, and then like so you can have your own theme tune.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. That is amazing. But we do the main thing of our group and the podcast and everything to do with Nerdy Up North is keeping the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Very well, so the subject is going to be interesting because Sam's seen absolutely jack shit of animal movies, not because she doesn't like animals. More to do with that she gets upset when animals are on screen.
Yeah. I'm an incredibly sensitive soul, if nobody hasn't noticed or listened to the podcast in the past and watched me cry relentlessly. I can't do animals in movies. Animated animals, I'm fine with, kind of, even though 2 movies of my youth absolutely broke my soul and probably is the reason why I can't do it. I just can't do animals in movies. I can't.
So it's a good starting point there. So
yep, excellent.
So we'll get out the way then. So Sam, what's your favourite animal in a movie?
Cats and dogs. I fucking love that film. It's the only one that I'll ever watch. Fucking love it. It's hilarious. If anyone's seen it, they know fine well that movie is golden. And it has a beagle in. That's why I love it for.
Doesn't the cat look like one of your best friend's cats?
Yep. Looks like Portia and acts like Portia. The Persian chinchilla. Yes. Carolyn has 2 Persian chinchillas, Portia and Romeo, and Portia is exactly like that cat in that movie. She's very misunderstood. She hates everyone. Carolyn will fucking kill me for saying this.
Isn't this like is it all CGI or is it actually live animals in this movie?
Oh, I don't know. It's been such a long time since I've seen it.
Was it not live animals, but their mouths were CGI to look like they were talking?
I think so, because it's Tobey Maguire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is the beagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cats, man. I just fucking love the cats. Oh no, baby puppy, it is you who is in trouble.
Isn't there like 2 or 3 of them?
There's there's a Russian cat.
Oh no,
I mean like the films.
There's more.
I think there's Cats and Dogs too. I didn't know if there was a 3rd one, but I know it definitely is.
I know there's a new one coming out though.
Oh, God,
get in! It's the only one that I can fucking tolerate for some reason because I know that no animal gets hurt in it.
Definitely, but I think that's a good point though, because like I think there's a big divide when it comes to animals in movies, especially with like the 2 main like dogs and cats. Dogs are always seen as the friendly or the nice ones, unless in horror. But the cats always have to be evil or sly or nasty. Even when you go back to the Aristocats, like there was like say the Siamese cats, and like were always like say a bit devious and evil. But I always think cats get a raw deal, especially like in like when you think about the major cat players. I think the other one I can mention is Pet Sematary. Like the remake and the old, which I didn't mind the remake as well, but the cats in there was proper sinister, and like when it gets run over by the big truck, it makes you sad, and it goes and gets buried when it's what's it say, dead is better dead or something like that.
Sometimes death is better.
Yes.
That's my best Herman Munster impression.
It was Herman Munster in that as well. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed the new one as well. I know they didn't really change or break the wheel. It was pretty much the same story.
Yeah.
But John Lithgow, I'm all for John Lithgow and anything that
he was brilliant.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But that movie as well, like as I said, when he's showing cats, cats always like a bringer of evil or the signs of evil as well.
Well, we are cat parents, me and Paul, and I have two, Paul has two. My two are the complete bipolar opposites of each other, because one of them is the most sweetest little boy you've ever met in your life. He is actually the sister of one of Paul's cats, and he is just the best. He has never scratched, hissed, or anything like that. He is such a sweet-natured little boy. And then you've got Beatrice. And Beatrice is part Burmese, part Siamese, and black and white cat all over. And for all of a cat that has lived in a house all of her life, she has never been outside. She is feral as fuck.
No wonder living with you.
Cheeky bastard. She absolutely hates me. She loves her dad though, but she's one of those cats who has to smell you before she like knows who you are. She's all about the smell. Whereas Baxter will love and greet anyone. Beatrice, you wouldn't even know she lived here. She guns and hides when someone comes in. She hates Carolyn and all.
So what about you, Charlotte? What's your favourite animal in a movie? Well, animal movie or animal in a movie?
I don't know. I'm a dog person, so it's probably going to be a dog. But I
just mute her now.
Like
but it's not going to be E.T., is it?
Is he an animal?
He's an alien. He's a creature.
Something. I don't know. I think I tend to lean towards like fantasy and fictional animals more as well. Because like I absolutely adore Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. Because he reminds us of my mum and dad's old dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a dog person, so it would probably be a dog or the Cheshire Cat.
Right. So you're just naming them all, so you're not really giving
it. No,
you're playing both sides then.
Like, I can't give an answer, so I'll give him. Probably mine was like I think this film got a bit of a rough deal. Like it is a brilliant film, but it came out at the time as another like a dog film, but it kind of didn't get the same fanfare or talked about in the same way. Because everyone loves Turner and Hooch, and I love Turner and Hooch because Tom Hanks is amazing. In that film, that dog is the cutest thing ever. But I loved K9 with was it Jim Belushi and Jerry Lynn? John?
No.
Not John. John Belushi was the one that died, wasn't it?
Jim?
Because he was his brother.
I know. I just can't remember which one is which.
I think it was Jim. But just like. The whole film, it was with it being a German Shepherd as well, because I grew up with a German Shepherd. I love the whole attitude of Jerry Lynn. He was every time he was a very good police dog, but he was disobedient as fuck. It was almost like Lethal Weapon, but in dog and human version.
Oh. That's the best description of that film I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a really good description, actually.
So, like, basically, Jerry Lynn, the dog, was basically the Riggs character, where he was just getting pissed off every time he got locked in the door, like locked in the police car. He would come back and he would have chewed everything up just to piss him off. He would like pull out the car radio and stuff like that, and it was just hilarity. And again, like I say, Sam probably won't be able to watch it at the end because he gets shot, and it's all like I say, it has the sad moments, but as a buddy cop movie, because I think, like say, I saw this on ITV or Channel 4, like say sometime when I was watching like Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon films, but it was just absolutely brilliant. And I think, like as I said, Turner and Hooch is a top film, and again up there with one of the great things. But I think K9 kind of just gets left on the wayside because it came out about the same time. So everyone kind of goes to Turner and Hooch when K9, I'll be honest, is the better film. In my eyes, that is.
I don't like either of them.
You're not allowed to say that about every film.
Honestly, it's not a case of not liking it. It's just I'm too sensitive. It gets to us and it sticks with us and it stays with us, and I don't like it. I've actually turned horror movies off. Like literally turned them off. One of them was From Hell.
Right, yes.
The minute that kitten came on screen, I said to Anne, pause, get on the Wikipedia and find out what happens to that cat. And he didn't even bother saying anything. He just turned it off and went, "What do you want to watch next?"
That's the thing about because as if people watch the podcast and watch what we've talked about previously, we are very much horror fans. We love our horror movies, and that probably says a lot about us as people, that we couldn't give a fuck when someone like a human, a child, or like a person like gets like horrible things happen to them. As soon as you mention an animal or something that can't defend themselves, like a little dog or cat, like I was with you and I watched From Hell. It's probably one of the first films I flipped because I was really enjoying the movie.
Same here.
It was quite scary. It had some good like effects. But as soon as she made that decision, what she did to kill that kitten, I wanted that bitch to die. I actually screamed us in, "You're going to die, bitch! Die now, bitch!" That was actually my response to her.
I've seen the end scene where she gets dragged to hell, and I thought, you know what, you fucking deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Get down there.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get to that point. I couldn't watch the rest of it. I didn't. And the minute she got the cat, I was like, yeah. But slasher genre is my favorite genre, and I'm fine with the fact that people are getting slashed up left, right, and center. You put a cat in the mix, then it's all over.
But Beth in the chats just pointed out one of the things I didn't mention about K9 that I absolutely loved. The hilarity, like Jerry Lynn pretends to be dead at one point. So he's the dog's playing dead, and like James Belushi, as someone's pointed out, is basically standing over him like crying and like really sad, and then the dog just lifts his head up, just like almost laughing at him type thing. It was like that type of chemistry and like ability to even the dog to act. So it was a very good dog in that situation. But it comes back to the thing as well. I know when we talk about animals in movies, we always go to like dogs or cats like as regular. But when you think about like all the different animals that we've had in movies, I think Charlotte did mention like a good aspect is in fantasy. And when we talked about E.T. before, it's like what would you actually class as an actual animal in a movie? Would you class like the old Disney cartoons, or like say a fictional animal, like say would they still class in the same regard, or can you like, is it too far to class them as animals?
I class the Fantastic Beasts films as animal movies because they are beasts. They are animals. They're just magical ones. So
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there are some like fictional animal ones that I guess count as animals. I guess it depends on your definition of animal, because arguably there are some serial killer in human films that could be counted as animal movies.
Very much so.
Oh, well, that's good. I like that. I can't watch live action stuff, but I have no problem with like Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Like Robin Hood, fucking brilliant film. Brilliant film. But
the sexiest
Dumbo,
Robin Hood of them all.
Absolutely.
If everyone fancied a fox.
Still do. The Dumbo though broke my heart. Absolutely. And I watched the live one in the cinema with Carolyn, and I was like, that's the last time I will ever watch Dumbo. I can't have my heart broken by an elephant again. Land Before Time is the one that crushed us.
Yeah.
Crushed us.
Was it
probably the reason why I don't do animal films is because of that film.
Smallfoot's mother. But someone's just asked Charlotte a little question in the chat as well, I've noticed. So what is your favourite beast in the Fantastic Beasts? Just with you mention it there, Charlotte.
Oh, I think probably Niffler.
Yeah.
But the baby Nifflers. But the Niffler reminds me of Alice, the other dog that now lives with my mum and dad. Just the cheekiness of it. But I think visually, the Occamy, the big blue sneaky thing, I think visually that was beautiful.
I love really that you can say them words. I would have just described them.
Yeah, probably them too. And Pickett, the little stick one that lives in his pocket.
Yes.
So they are like a mixture of adorable to like say. That's I think the mistake that the second movie made in the franchise, they moved away from the Fantastic Beasts as much, and I think they realised it. And when they went back in the third, they told us they fixed the mistakes that they had, but they did show elements of the Beasts, which the first one did so well.
The opening of the third one was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was really heartbreaking, that one.
I really must have been paying attention. I actually fell asleep during it, so
That doesn't surprise me. But
I am the worst moviegoer ever. And also now the worst person on a pop culture podcast.
You make it work.
Must do.
Again, like I said, because I know, like I say, I'm always going to be jumping all about, but because you're saying things that are like poking me interest, so I'm going to poke the bear a little bit. So, because you said about breaking your heart and stuff, and like say, a lot of animal films did break your heart. What's your earliest memory of a film breaking your heart with an animal? So I'll go with Charlotte first, because Sam will have a shit one.
I don't actually have a good one.
I don't know whether it was the first one. The first one was obviously E.T., but I'm not telling that story again.
We'll tell you the episode of which one it's on, so you can go and listen to Charlotte's heartbreaking story of E.T. Jesus.
And if Charlotte's mom's listening, you should be proud.
She is. So I think the first one that sticks out for me was, I don't even know if anybody's seen it. It was a really small sort of Disney film when Disney were doing sort of the live action animal films. And it's called Whispers, an Elephant Story.
All right.
It's on Disney Plus, but I wouldn't recommend showing it to children because it broke me and my sister. It was New Year's Eve, and my mum and dad were like, right, we'll have a treat, we'll have a film night, you can stay up late, and they picked this nice animal film.
Your parents really know how to get you, don't they?
And by the end of it, me and my sister were hysterical because it's basically the story of this baby elephant, and its journey through. It's on a journey somewhere. The herd's on a journey somewhere, and it's sort of its journey through that, and it's heartbreaking. It's hard because it's a fictional story, but it's not, because it's almost like a documentary the way it's filmed. But the animals talk, so it's like kid friendly.
Right.
It's a bit like March of the Penguins, but Disney-fied, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it is heartbreaking.
It sounds it.
It really is. So that one sticks out.
Disney know how to touch them heartstrings. Sam, what about you?
Being dragged out of the cinema in Sunderland by my auntie because I was hysterical at All Dogs Go to Heaven. Like literally hysterical, to where she didn't drag us. Like she kindly escorted me out and took me to Burger King and tried to make it all better, but I was just an absolute mess. All Dogs Go to Heaven. I literally had an absolute meltdown in the middle of the cinema.
What a film that was as well. Because you always expected say it to turn and go one way, but it never did.
No, it didn't.
It
didn't.
And again, it was one of them movies that came out at the time. It was before DreamWorks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like independent cartoons, like the Disney. We thought there were Disney films, but there weren't. It was like this and American Tail. I think Anastasia, but I think Disney bought out Anastasia after a while.
Yeah,
didn't
they
it?
did.
Yeah.
It was along the lines with Thumbelina and Stanley's Magic Garden and Fern Gully and stuff like that, wasn't it?
Oh gosh.
The real Avatar movie, but if anyone who wants to watch it.
It's just sometimes with me, it's not even the I don't have to watch the full movie, just the concept and idea of it can shatter us before I've seen it. Like a movie called Fluke.
Yes.
Oh, based on the James Herbert.
Oh, good God, no. Heard the title of that, went, oh, that's interesting. Then someone told us what it was about. And I was like, absolutely not. No.
There's a couple of people in the chat have mentioned Hachi.
Yes.
There's actually been some questions thrown about, if you don't mind us asking them.
Go for it.
Charlotte, what's your favourite Harry Potter animal?
Hedwig.
Right,
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Hedwig.
Stunning.
Hedwig and Cruikshanks. Because that
Wow.
face.
So that's a Portia.
Cruikshank was a bell end.
Oh, he was lush.
He was a little bit, but Cruikshanks is a Persian chinchilla.
Yes.
Just a very different colour.
Yes.
And for me and Paul, what's our favourite animal from Star Wars?
Wicked the Ewok. Ichiwawa.
Ichiwawa. Oh my God, what are they called?
Go on, say it, Chewie. He'll give you a hug.
No, not Chewie.
He was
what was it? They were in The Mandalorian. They were also in, oh my God, what are the big bloody elephant things, looking things? Look like mammoths. What are they called?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I can't remember the name.
No.
What are they called?
I've just ordered a Wampa from...
Wampa! No, not a Wampa, but I do like a Wampa.
The Wampa was in Empire. I've just ordered one off eBay, so hopefully that'll be coming in a few days.
You can get a Wampa rug for a nursery. How fucking mint was that? That idea is just brilliant.
Only if it was missing an arm and had a blood stain where Luke took it out.
I love the ending of Fluke. No. No. No, I think that was it for now. But if anyone else has got any questions, just throw them out. I will catch them.
Mine, because like I say, my parents like to emotionally torment me, so I used to watch all the hard ones when I was a kid. I think I've mentioned Watership Down, Land Before Time in the past. Like say, if you're a parent now, don't let your kids watch them. You're a bad parent if you do. One for me, and again, I think we talked about it on one of the charity podcasts. The Never Ending Story.
Well, we all know my feelings on that.
The horse didn't die in real life.
It didn't.
So filming horse as a whole.
Although when you tell the actual true story of what happened to the horse, it kind of sounds like it does.
Yeah.
Because it went to live a very nice and long life on a farm.
Oh, on the farm.
On a farm.
On the farm. Right.
But yes, like say that scene, just the whole movie, like kind of broke us down and like slowly in little bits as the nothingness was taking everything away. Like seeing the whole the sadness of the speed snail as it's dying.
How dramatic were you there?
It's a dramatic film. It's like I say, it's heartbreaking.
It's the rock monster when he can't, like, there's nothing to eat. That was really sad. It's like,
Hey, the rock monster, that's an animal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not making us want to watch this film anymore, mind.
But like I say, on the plus side, we've got a fucking Falco though. Who didn't? I wanted to ride that little bastard.
Is Falco the white thing?
It was the luck dragon.
The luck dragon.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's cute. That was cute.
He looked like to have his big lugs scratched.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, your doggy has big lugs too.
Yes.
Joe's just snoring at my feet.
Oh, little rubes.
But yes, like say what happened to was it a tree or Artax? Was it Artax the dog?
Artax was the horse.
Yes, the Artax when he's like trying to pull it out. He's was it in the bog of eternal sadness because the horse was getting so sad he didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, because it couldn't struggle to get out or something.
Yeah,
and this was made for children.
It was a kids' film.
Wow.
But then, like, say, it got redeemed in Stranger Things when, when they sang the song, him and Susie.
Oh, that was worth it.
Round.
Look at what you see. Yeah, that was worth every minute of that film. It was for that moment right now.
Yes, but I'll get the. I know Goodwill's doesn't look like he's in the chat today, so he must be busy. How dare he? But I'll get the little obligatory mention out of the way. One of the funniest animals I remember watching, it had me in kinks, was when the bats came out the fireplace for the Goonies. Yes, when Chunk was about to get his hands splattered, and you say the thing, and he's get pure eyes, and all the fatalities are freaking out, and says, "Got to watch your hair," and all the bats are flying all over the place. So the bats were the heroes in the Goonies. It saves Chunk's hand. Remember that, guys.
Oh my God! It took how long we've been on?
Yep.
It took less than half an hour. And he did it. It is a running thing though now. Like I think people, if they're listening and you join us every week, You're expecting this. And no, Beth, I will never watch War Horse.
Yeah. There's certain films that we're going to try and get Sam to watch.
Never going to happen.
I think we probably could get her to watch a Homeward Bound.
I love Homeward
Like I said,
Bound.
Does anything bad happen?
No, they just, like I say, they move and the dogs think they're getting abandoned, and the cats.
But they're not.
And what was the cat? Was the cat called Sally? Was it?
Yes.
Because it had Sally.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, it had Sally Field's voice, I'm sure of it, because there was a remake of the old Disney film, The Incredible Journey.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox doing the voice of one of the other dogs, and I can't remember who done the voice of Shadow, the older dog. It was like an old Labrador, and they just basically decided that they were going to travel back to the house to get back to the young boy, and it's just, as I said, as the original Disney film, it's an incredible journey where they go travel and they look after each other, and they get attacked by a porcupine, and they pull out all the
So
spikes
funny.
on the face and stuff.
Chase.
Yeah.
Chase is the younger dog, isn't he?
I just remember him going out the window and putting his head out, and like he's because he had floppy ears, and he's going, "Back dog!" Michael J. Fox doing the voice, but no animals die. They do hint at it towards the end that one of the dogs dies, but he doesn't. He just comes limping. I don't know how they got him to limp. They might have just.
I know.
You never know, but he just limps up. But what a film! Homeward Bound is a great.
Apparently, it was Sassy.
Sassy the cat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes.
Sassy.
Thanks, Beth. I don't know if I can do it. I really don't. Do you know what's going to be the worst part? If someone actually, like when we do, our reviews, and someone actually picks like a dog, like an animal movie, and then I've got to watch it because I've got to sit and talk about it.
I haven't watched Homeward Bound in years, but I absolutely adored it as a kid. Yeah. Just like, I'm a big Michael J. Fox fan, so anything that he was in, I just wanted more of, and like him doing the voice was just pure entertainment, and like Sally Field was great in it as well. But it's like I said, it's a wholesome film. It's just
as long as nobody dies, then
it's a proper feel good at the end.
Definitely, you'll probably cry with happy tears.
I cry every emotion going, Paul. I don't think there's any there's no filter for this. Someone's mentioned in the chat Mr. Jangles in The Green Mile.
Oh yes, that mouse was so well trained.
For a mouse.
Yeah,
so
well trained.
It did get squashed.
But didn't it, like, say another mouse get brought back because he lived with?
No, he gets brought back.
Yeah,
Mr. Jangles gets brought back, and he gets his like superpower of life, and that Tom Hanks gets. And remember, this is Stephen King.
To be fair though, Tom Hanks.
I'm surprised aliens weren't involved.
Tom Hanks has had his fair share of animals in movies as well, though. If you think about it, like with going back to Turner and Hooch, like saying,
he's in that.
Trying to think of other Tom Hanks movies that he might have been with an animal. Can't think of it now. But yes, but going back even further as well, like I think animals in horror films has been quite a staple. Like, say, with a lot of different aspects as well. Like, going back from the original, I know you said you've got a good King Kong story. So, as the original OG Big Monkey type thing. So I love the making of the very, very old King Kong when they use the stop motion and the robot hand and everything.
Yeah.
And when you see all the making of stuff, and you see like people sitting in the monkey's hand, that would just be breathtaking to watch and see. But I'll let you tell your monkey story.
Goodwill's joined the chat, by the way. You're late, Michael. So my mum is one of my mum's favorite films is Godzilla, not Godzilla. King Kong. Wrong animal. Is King Kong, but she loves the original, and she made us watch the Peter Jackson one because she was like just waxing lyrical about how much she loves this fucking monkey. And she made us watch it, but she was drinking at the same time. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not a drinker. So I was absolutely stone cold sober through this, and I actually watched it.
Mm-hmm.
She, on the other hand, was living her fantasy and getting herself all worked up that we weren't getting upset that the monkey got hurt.
Oh, was Mrs. Weatherall getting upset? Do I need to look after her?
She was. Paul, you do realise she still remembers that you threw up on our roof.
To be fair, though, that was 20 years ago.
She still remembers. Right. That's her bedroom now.
So what you're saying is I've been in your mum's bedroom?
Yeah. If anyone's been in my bedroom, they've been in my mum's.
What you're saying is he knows where it is.
Shit.
All that creepiness now. If Donna was in this chat, she would be.
Oh, where is Donna?
She's in a hot tub.
All right, okay. Nice one, Donna. Yeah, so she got herself incredibly upset, but it wasn't over the film. It was over the fact that we didn't have a heart because we weren't getting upset as to what was happening to King Kong. And she actually stormed upstairs in a huff. She went, "You've got no heart, you've got no soul," and just walked out the door in dramatic fashion and left us to pissing ourselves laughing at what we just watched on the telly and what we just witnessed in real life.
I did like the Peter Jackson version, but it's one of them ones where I always prefer the OG, the classic, just because it brings back the memories of seeing it for the first time and the reminders of films like Clash of the Titans, Sinbad, and Eye of the Tiger and stuff like that. Was it Eye of the Tiger or Eye of the Cyclops? One of the films where the stop motion was made. But like with the horror type thing, a lot of, like as I said, animals or beasts were used in a ways that, like, throughout the years, like as I said, we had a discussion before we came online about like werewolves, like, and you were saying you were saying that's not an animal, that's a werewolf. I was good. Well, it is an animal. It's like, say it's part dog, part wolf, part human. But like say that my fondest memory as well is going back and watching American Werewolf in London and seeing like the effects and actually being blown away of how that was made. And wondering how it was made at the time as well, because this was before CGI, and I was like, shit, have they actually got, because I was only young watching, I was like, shit, have they actually got an actual werewolf person on set to play in this? Is it safe for the people? But
oh, your concern, bless you.
But I think horror uses like animals so well, like even from either the comedy value when it comes to Gremlins, and like seeing like Gizmo and like say the actual Gremlins when they morph in there, and even from like the knockoffs like the Ghoulies and Critters and stuff.
Yes,
we'll get all different types of beasts and animals, but when they go like a little bit realistic and real, it gets a little bit more scarier. Like I remember watching Cujo as a kid and being absolutely terrified and wouldn't go near like a Saint Bernard again for a long time.
I will never watch Cujo for all the reasons. So, but I have watched the making of Cujo, and there was several Cujos. And when you see that Cujo jumping on the car and it's like supposedly aggressive, it's actually chasing a toy. There's somebody in the car squeezing the toy, and the dog's tail is wagging furiously because it wants his toy, and it kind of like took so much illusion away from the film that I was like, I generally think I could watch that now, because I know that dog is super duper happy while he's trying to attack those people.
But do you know how they got him to snarl? Like, do the like snarly face?
No.
Peanut butter in his gums? Yeah.
Oh, it happens to me, and also, yeah, I get that.
So they got peanut butter and put in the gums of the dog's thing, so it was going like this, trying to get the peanut butter.
Oh my God, that's just made it so much. I think I could watch Cujo now for that reason. But going back to American Werewolf in London, I've known of the film for years. I think somebody did ask, they wanted to know what the story was of you throwing up on the roof, and it was my 18th birthday. And we actually watched American Werewolf in Paris. I don't know if you can remember that night very well.
It was the first time I drank whiskey. No.
So we actually watched that film, but I hadn't seen American Werewolf in London, and I only watched it a few weeks ago, and that was absolutely breathtaking, watching the transformation from man to werewolf. Yeah. And so I remember in the I don't know if you did this when you were in Florida, the Universal Monsters talk. and it showed you how they did it in there. And I always remember that. So when I was watching it, I was like, I knew I'd seen that first and then watched the movie, and it was just brilliant to watch side by side. Like, is it Rick Baker?
Yes.
Who does the makeup for?
Yeah.
Oh, what an absolute genius that man is. And just the techniques that he used was fantastic.
I think as well, like if we're talking about werewolves, it's one of them, there's a genre of horror film that they try and do, and it doesn't always pay off well. Like, there's a lot of horror films that try and do the werewolf. Like, there's 3 big ones I remember that stand out as being the top, like not just top tier werewolf movies, but top tier horror films. American Werewolf in London, Ginger Snaps, and Dog Soldiers.
The werewolf in Ginger Snaps was awful, though.
I've not seen Ginger Snaps, but Matt, a person who I work with, it's their brother who's the makeup artist on Ginger Snaps. Sorry, don't worry, we're not friends. But yeah, her brother is. He was trained by George A. Romero.
Right.
He was part of the old school of horror makeup, so he kind of started on his own, and it was like word of mouth, like or a friend of a friend, and he got then trained by George A. Romero, and Ginger Snaps is like probably the biggest title he ever did, and he's from the northeast of England.
No, definitely. I just remember Ginger Snaps because they've never seen it from like a female's perspective, because it's always been like men hunting female, and that was always like the case. But having the female as the predator. And the last that was in it, she's been in loads of horror movies or horror things. She was in like an American Mary later on and stuff.
The sisters ended up in Supernatural.
Yeah, like I say, they've done lots of different.
That's Charlotte's thing now, bringing it back to Supernatural.
Like the Kevin Bacon thing. Everyone's got a part in Supernatural at some point. In case anyone hasn't watched Dean Dies.
6 degrees separation from Supernatural and the Goonies.
Technically, they both do several times.
All the time.
Oh, touche.
But yes, like I said, but I would feel amiss if I didn't mention Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers came about and you weren't expecting. Like, fair enough.
I feel like I've seen that one.
It's basically like the British Army versus.
Yes, I have.
Like say, but it's always like twist and like people who you could see the twist coming. It was Neil Marshall, but I think most of the actors are going to be at Love and Horror, and when we're down there, I think most of the cast is going to be there.
That's right, Charlotte. Most of the cast is going to be there.
I know.
Isn't it one of Kev's favourite films?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the
was that subtle or not?
the 4K steelbook's just come out and it's beautiful.
I'm surprised you haven't got that.
Beautiful.
I've got Lost Boys on pre-order, so that's gonna cost £45. So what? It's very.
It'll be worth it though. It'll be worth it. I just saw something in the chat earlier. I had no idea Lon Chaney was the werewolf. From the Universal Monsters. I didn't realize that was Lon Chaney. Sorry, that's kind of blew my mind a little bit. Thank you, Martin, for pointing that out.
But I'm
sorry. Yeah. Yes, Lee Alfred from Gotham is in Dog Soldiers. Sean Pertwee? Pertwee? Yeah.
Yes.
Petrie.
Then Petrie. But yes.
Petrie.
But Lee just pointed out another werewolf movie that I totally forgot, and I'm pissed off. Teen Wolf. The greatest werewolf movie ever.
Fuck yes. You're such a Michael J. Fox fan.
I know, fuck that. Good myself up there. And one of the greatest 80s movies made ever, so yeah.
I have seen Teen Wolf.
Yes.
Have you
seen Teen Wolf 2?
Is that with Jason Bateman?
It is. He plays
yes, I've seen that.
Instead of basketball, he's a boxer.
Hasn't there been like a reboot series? Well, not a reboot series, but like a TV series recently.
Recent. Yeah.
And I think they're doing a film to finish it off or something like that. Yeah, that was announced at Comic-Con this year.
Yeah. Was it?
Yes. But very interesting. But yeah, Teen Wolf, but we don't get many animal movies these days. If you think about like all the different films we get, it's more like I can't remember a standout actual like recent one the last say 5-6 years.
Are we talking live action or animated?
Any really, like other than say How I Train Your Dragon, but say that's had about 17 million sequels.
And I've not seen one of them.
Secret Life of Pets. That was quite good. That was
I did enjoy that one. That was funny.
Was cute. Sing. Has anybody seen Sing?
No.
Sing and Sing 2 are two of the greatest films. They're kids' films, and it's basically.
Are you making that statement now?
No, they are.
That's pretty bold.
Like, they're so good. They're just easy watching, funny family films. About a bunch of animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like Pop Idol with animals, but it was what got. It's what got Taron. What do you call him?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Taron Egerton.
Yeah, so it's what got him the role in Rocketman.
Right.
Because he sings in the first one.
Right.
And he sings Elton John.
Have I told you that I know Taron Egerton?
Can you get him on the podcast?
Well, do you want to know how I know him? My mum works with his auntie. I've never met him before in my life.
Don't know.
No, but we have that kind of like, yeah, we know him. My mum works with his auntie's auntie or something like that.
Oh, Sam's like, I know this person. We're close camaraderies. No, I once walked past him and I sniffed his shirt.
Well, it's the same as when I said I met Mark Hamill. I didn't really. I turned round while he was doing his signing and I could see him in the far corner and went, I've seen Mark Hamill, it's all right, now let's go.
Bless you. But I think if you're going back to like animals and movies,
we go back to the topic at hand.
Like in the 90s and the 80s was like the big time where we got a lot of like the animals. Like I remember one of my favorites growing up as well. I know it had about 17 sequels again. Beethoven. Like
I love Beethoven.
It's just like say a film with very little storyline. It's just as simple as it goes. It's very much like say 101 Dalmatians, just with a Saint Bernard instead of having 101. It's got an evil person who's trying to kill the Saint Bernard, and this Bernard is just like Beethoven is the most destructive force going, but you just can't help but fall in love with him. And it's like I love the scene when he's on the bed, and I think I put on the thing, and he's absolutely manky, and he's just like the guy who's playing is just like getting so irate at him, and he's just like no, because you can see him about to stand up and he starts shaking and you see all the snot,
muddy and
it is one of them moments in cinema that you could feel coming through the screen. But we don't get many films like that these days with like say buddy ones.
If you do get animal films, they kind of tend to be sad ones, like Molly and Me and Hachi and A Dog's Journey, A Dog's
and
Purpose.
Fuck that! Why did they bring these films out?
Molly and Me broke me.
I can't watch it. That's one of the ones that's like no for me, to be honest.
No.
And Hachi.
What's Hachi?
I've got a story about Hachi. So Hachi is the story of a dog. Is it in Japan?
Yes.
That sounds Japanese.
Who became famous for, he belonged to a professor. The professor died, and he used to walk to work. He used to walk to the train station with his owner every morning to take him to work, and then he used to meet him every night off the train. And the owner died, and Hachi did that journey every single day until he died. And they made a film about it with Richard Gere. And I was in hospital in ICU on Christmas Eve, I believe it was.
Why is she laughing?
Because if she doesn't, she'll cry.
On Christmas Eve, I was in critical care. I was really ill. And my mum had come up to see us, and they put the telly on. And the batteries in the remote ran out, so I couldn't change the channel. And my mum had to sit on Christmas Eve with me, really ill in critical care, and watch Hachi.
Bless you.
Charlotte, why are your stories so heartbreaking? Like...
She is she's a medical marvel.
And I've never watched it again. I've only seen it once.
No,
I think once is enough. Once is enough for an emotional absolute meltdown.
It's a really sad ending, but it's a beautiful story about like dogs' loyalties.
Yeah. So someone's mentioned in the chat, Greyfriars Bobby.
Bobby.
So I had no idea about this fucking dog. And then when we went to Edinburgh last year, Carolyn was like, we need to go and see the Fry Graves Bobby. And I was like, what are you on about? And she had to sit and tell us the story. And ever since then, I can't get rid of this dog.
Wait, he's following you now, is he?
He's in my mum's back garden. I brought his statue back. I was like, do you know what? If you could, because when we got back to the hotel room, I then noticed that there's a fucking picture of him in the bedroom. Like actually above the beds. I was like, Jesus, this dog is everywhere. But yeah, when Carolyn told us the story of the dog who never left his owner's grave, I cried. And that's just someone telling us a story.
Tell us a story. But no, bless you. I remember, I bet you rubbed his nose when you went up to Edinburgh as well, because like, see,
is that what you meant to do?
Yeah, that's what you do. It's for the good luck.
I couldn't reach.
Do you not know
that explains the beginning of the year then.
I said, do you not notice the statue? Like it's all black stuff on his nose, that's all bronze because it's rubbed away.
I didn't notice. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
That kind of explains the beginning of my year.
Yeah, I wanted to when we went up for my birthday, but I couldn't reach.
Oh, Charlotte.
Did Kev not pick you up? And put
I was going to say, you got Kev there.
He said, I'll pick you up. I was like, no, it's fine.
I tell you what, man, the amount of times I hounded Charlotte over that graveyard, I was like, you better go to that graveyard. Don't you dare come back from Edinburgh without seeing that graveyard. Poor Charlotte. And people are going nuts in the chat as well about Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
It was a terrible film. I'm sorry. I know I don't like to say here.
It wasn't a great film, no.
There's
animated ones, though.
Matthew Lillard was the actual perfect
yeah, he was.
And actually fucked it up.
Did anybody watch the new one, Scoob, the animated one with was it Zac Efron was Fred?
No,
I think
I read about it, and it wasn't something that, like, say, appealed to us. But apparently, it was going to be the first in a line of loads of new Scooby films. But Warner Brothers has gladly just fucked that up. They've cancelled it, so they've cancelled everything.
We watched it during lockdown, and we quite enjoyed it. It was just a cute little film, and Puppy Scooby-Doo was very cute.
I've never seen the live action ones, and not for the reason that it's got an animated dog in it. It just didn't interest us. But I used to love the cartoon. I'm not gonna lie, like Scrappy Doo can go and fuck off, but Scooby Doo as a whole, I do like him.
But no,
he was great to him.
I think it's a lost art now with, like, say, the animal movies, like.
Yeah, I think, definitely.
Like, trying to think back, I think the last one over the last few years, there was a one with Harrison Ford and a dog, but I can't remember what that was called.
Oh, was it the Grey or something?
I know
the Wild or the Grey or something like that. It was just like an
adventure movie type thing.
Yeah,
where him and his
Harrison
dog.
Ford and a dog.
Yeah.
In the snow.
In the
snow.
snow.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was really didn't call it Chewy though. But there was, I'm sure there was a one with a cat as well, where, like, it was a true story about. It was a book.
A street cat named Bob.
That's it. Bob. I knew it was called Bob.
Cat called Bob. Yeah, that was massive. That was yeah.
Is Bob still alive?
No.
I'm not watching that film.
It didn't happen in the film.
Yeah.
He's just dead now.
Yeah, he died after.
That's the point. That was Call of the Wild, one with Harrison Ford. The Grey was with Liam Neeson.
Right, yeah.
But
how mint is our chat today? Like, how mint is our chat? They're just keeping us on level.
But someone's got to.
That's true. It's been a long week.
It has. But like I say, I've still got. I'm like I say, watching The Sandman. I think Nick's back tomorrow, so that'll be tomorrow. But yes, instead of going back onto that thing,
it's quite easy that we could do it, mind.
I did love Patton Oswalt as the crow in the.
There's an animal in that.
It wasn't a movie. It wasn't a movie, guys. Walk away. Walk away. Talking about, like, say, good segue. The actual movie, The Crow.
Oh my god, The Crow!
Oh yeah.
Love that film.
One of the greatest comic book adaptations that got made, and
absolutely.
Like I say, it had a weird element, and like I say, it was for Sam. It was everything a goth heart wanted.
Oh my god, yeah! It was like the goth Bible. It's like that in The Craft.
Yes.
Like literally is like, if you want to be in a goth in the 90s, You watch these films. Why am I really bright? I've got no lights on, but my face is like glowing. Sorry, I haven't even got Wikipedia here. Yeah, that was like the goth Bible.
I was trying to not make inappropriate comments at all today. So.
Oh, don't. I think you said enough about my mum.
Sammy's mom has got it going on.
I take it as a compliment, to be fair, because she is my mother.
Yeah.
Like, I am meant to turn into her at some point.
To be fair, though, like I said, she's a beautiful woman. What can we say?
Oh, I'm actually like, I'm not bothered. Like, she really is. She's like, I don't want to say she's nearly 60, but she is, and she still looks absolutely fantastic. So, got some good genes there. The Crow.
Yes, The Crow. It's very interesting. Where, like I said, it's like I say, a little bit of fantasy where he gets his power from the crow and like all seeing. But that brings us back to the fantasy element, because I think it's not touched on enough. Like, say, some of the fantasy creatures or animals we did get, like going from the king of all monsters in Godzilla, which, like, say, I absolutely adore. Even the stupid guys in the suit, like, to the newer ones. And, like, say, some other kaiju films like Pacific Rim, which was done absolutely brilliantly, and like, say, the animals and how they give them like anatomy and stuff, and how there was like a trade where people would like burrow inside these animals to take organs and sell, as what they did years ago with like mythical animals. Like people used to use rhino horn to cure erections and stuff back in the dark ages.
Certain places in the world, monkey brains is still considered a delicacy,
as we found out in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yes.
There's definitely some animals. And what animal does India hate all over the most?
Snakes.
Yes. And that I love.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Yes. And that scene in not Temple of Doom, it was Raiders of the Lost Ark, which it depends which version you've got, because I've got the 4K version and they've cleaned it up so you can't see the reflection. But if you actually get the DVD version, I believe, or the VHS, when he falls into the pit of the stakes, you can see the glass and you see Indiana Jones's reflection in the glass.
Breaking the movie magic.
Yes, so if you can go back and watch that side of it.
So Harrison Ford was too fucking scared to get into a pit of snakes.
Well, there was an actual cobra. There wasn't a CGI cobra.
Right, okay. I was just about to say pussy.
I really, it's one of my favorite films. It's Kong Skull Island, and I know Tom Hiddleston, yada yada.
She's
but
just getting it out there before anyone else does.
I think the creatures in Skull Island were done really well. Like when the bison or the buffalo comes out the water. Is it the bison comes out the water? And like the stick insect that moves, and those spiders. I thought that was done really well. The animals in that were visually, they were amazing.
No, certainly, and I think that's sometimes where CGI is done like to the betterment. Where, like, say, you go from like the old school, which, like, say, I prefer, but we'll get things that even practical effects can't really do. And it's a similar thing, and I probably will get the chat a little bit excited here when I talk about this, because depending on who's in. A recent film where they used CGI for all the animals, and I thought was absolutely amazing, because I never thought it would work. Detective Pikachu.
Yes, that was amazing.
Having Ryan Reynolds voice like a Pikachu
so
was
good,
just so entertaining, more entertaining than it had any right to be. And
yes.
But as a whole, the whole film just works so well, and it's just like, as I said, one of them ones where it doesn't have to make sense. And I never thought we'd see, like, as an avid Pokemon Go player, I would never thought we'd see a world where, like, you could actually imagine these random creatures popping up or living like.
They looked so realistic, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want a little Pikachu.
We'll get Goodwill to dress up one for you.
I just don't want Ryan Reynolds talking to us. That's all.
All right.
Oh, I don't think Goodwill knows that you've already pulled out your Goonies reference, because he's waiting for it.
That was
less than half an hour in Goodwill.
That was 30 minutes. I can go back and re-talk about it if you want, because the bats were amazing in the Goonies. Like, they really did. And also, if you, like, say, no joking
Getting comfy
aside.
now.
No joking aside. It was never in the movie. It was cut out. But if you do watch the extras, there was a giant octopus that attacked them. That's a creature that was that pulled them underwater, and it was the shittest looking octopus you'll ever see. And that's me as a Goonies fan would say. It looked so fake. It was hilarious. But yes, the Goonies has lots of fun animals to talk about.
Ooh, Beth's just asked a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What Pokemon would you want if they were real?
Go on, Sammy, say a squirrel.
I don't know Pokemon. I don't know anything to do with Pokemon. Say what? What did you say, Charlotte?
Say Squirtle.
What's that?
It's a turtle
What
that
is-
squirts.
No. I don't know Pokemon. Ant's probably I think Ant's playing something to do with Pokemon right now. His ears will prick up and go, Pokemon what? I'll just say Pikachu because it's the only one I know.
I'll probably say a Snorlax because it's probably the same as me, just fat and lazy.
Probably a Vulpix because they're adorable.
Oh, Beth put a Vulpix in her choice. Yeah. I don't know what they are.
It's just like a fox.
Or the horse that's got fire for its mate. I can't remember what it's called.
Ponytail or something like that? Ponytail?
Yeah, or that one. Because that one's pretty.
But yes. Moving on, keeping in the fantasy side, we mentioned the CGI aspects in Pokemon and Detective Pikachu, and I do hope we do get a sequel because I think it worked better than it should have.
I liked it.
And I know we've continued having CGI animals like that fucking whore. Sonic got his own film. He got 2 films. He's getting his 3rd. The little bastard. Fucking hate Sonic.
You only hate it because you can't play it.
I fucking won.
If anyone wants to go and watch Paul flip his shit over Sonic the Hedgehog, there is an actual video of it on our YouTube channel. Please feel free. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel.
I've never been so angry. I'll never play that game ever again. It was horrible. Yes.
You're just not like the person you were while you were playing it.
Well, if Goodwill's in the chat, he knows what type of person I turn into when we play games together. I'm not a nice person.
I played video games with you. You're fine. Yeah. But we were playing Ghost Hunters though. Ghost Faces.
That's collaborative, but when it's a competition, it's different.
Oh, right. Apparently, there's a cat Pokemon.
Yeah, Mew.
Skitty.
Oh no.
Skitty. Am I saying that right? Skitty. I don't know. Thanks, Beth, though, for letting us know there's a cat Pokemon because these two didn't.
Goodwill's mocking us now about Sonic. Fuck you, Goodwill.
None fact. Oh, okay. None fact. Paul has a Sonic shrine and actively writes Sonic fan fiction where he has a relationship with Princess Peach. Oh, I love Goodwill.
Is that because Mass Effect's losing to Mario now? So
you'll go.
Yes, getting the bitchiness out of here. So yes, we are a podcast against toxicity, which I think I'm turning around.
We are. Let's remember that.
Yes. From the CGI, I want to go back to the practical effect and the wonderful world of Jim Henson and what he gave us for, say, the production in Labyrinth. Who didn't fall in love with Ludo?
Ludo shared.
And Sir Didymus?
No.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I like the little.
The little rat thing.
The little fox that.
He was a fox. Jesus, not a rat. Sorry.
on that basically road, say what we used to call the was it the
say it right.
I can't.
I know what you want to say.
The sheepdog that was
started.
That started.
Julex dog.
Julex, not Durex.
Not Durex. I was just waiting to see if you did it. Hey, I'll tell you what. Yes. I never thought I'd laugh so much in a fucking podcast over animals.
We thought you would be crying, but
yeah, I'm not surprised. I would have thought that too.
But yes, but say all the animals in that, and even the little worm at the start, that could have helped her. Could have helped Sarah get away. But all the creations in that movie and the movies that say helped Jim Henson, and we got the Muppets. I would class the Muppets as animals because we actually
Kermit's a frog.
Bears, frogs, yes. Whatever Gonzo is.
Fuzzy Bear. like waka waka.
It's my Harry. Harry's anyone when I go to my parents' house and I'm videoing and I'm recording from there, you'll get to see a real life Fozzie Bear because Harry looks exactly like him. But yeah, I don't know what Gonzo is. No. Miss Piggy's obviously a pig. So Anthony loves Miss Piggy. He fucking loves her. He hates the fact that someone else has taken the voiceover from Frank Oz, because in Muppets Christmas Carol, he pisses his pants laughing at her lines every time she comes on, but can't stand any other like version of it that's not Frank Oz.
So are we expecting to see Sammy dressed as a furry Miss Piggy now? So
it could happen.
Could happen there. It's a real time. But out the Muppets as well, because everyone's got a favourite. So who was your favourite Muppet?
Oh, it's a toss-up between Ralph. Because I was a big Muppets Babies fan. Like I saw them live at the Empire. If you remember that they came like when we were kids. And Ralph was always my favorite because he was the musical one, and I loved music. But I do love Fozzie Bear. Like, and it's not for the Harry connection at all. Yeah. I just love Fozzie Bear so much.
No, I think Fozzie was always mine as well. There was like a purity and innocence to Fozzie.
Yeah.
And he was just like the one that tried to keep the team together, and like it was always sad what happened to them when like the Muppets go to Manhattan and all split up, and they have to find them all and bring them back. Like I say, I love that. That was the one where the rats were introduced as well. What was I can't remember.
Yeah, Rizzo. And it has oh my god, it had Joan Rivers in it, and I love that film so much. I wanted to work in an American diner so badly after that film. I love their uniform.
What about you, Charlotte? What was your favourite Muppet?
Rizzo and Animal. And Rizzo is purely because of one line in Muppets Christmas Carol when he gets set on fire, and it's light the lamp, not the rat, light the lamp, not the rat. And it absolutely, every time we watch it every Christmas, and my mom cries laughing at that line.
I know. I just remembered because Donna's not watching it, but when she watches this back, she's kind of fuming because she hates the fucking Muppets.
And there's one thing I cannot understand. Somebody could actually use the phrase, I don't like the Muppets. It's the fucking Muppets. Like, I understand, like, Sesame Street was a bit like, you know, and the Fraggles, I get that, but the Muppets, like, it's the most wholesome thing in the world.
And I know Jake would be pissed off if we didn't mention Muppets Treasure Island, because I know that's his favourite.
I love that film.
With the amazing Tim Curry in as well. Who, again, with a good segue here, going back into the fantasy world, I would class him as a bit of an animal when we go look at the parts he's played as the devil in Legend, with all the pixies and the last unicorn, and the beautiful scenes in that, and the beast that he was in as Pennywise the clown, because he wasn't a human, he was an animal.
He was an alien though, wasn't he? Yeah, Pennywise.
Stephen King, of course he was an alien. He was a big giant spider alien. If you're watching the TV series, in the film, he's a clown that gets talked down to by people. That's the one thing that really bothered me about that ending. Like, at least in the film, like at least in the TV series, they took a shot. Like, you know what I mean? They took aim at him, but in this one, they just talked down to him, like, and he disappeared.
I'm just impressed as well that it went from a segue from the Muppets to Stephen King movies.
Excellent. Do you know how it's amazing? I don't know if you noticed this. We used to do this in the very beginning. We could always bring it round to horror. We could always bring a conversation around to horror. It just shows the type of people we are.
Definitely. But no, like I say, it was an interesting take, like seeing all the different versions of like I say Tim Curry. He doesn't really change his mannerisms or his voice and everything, but just to see how reacted. But if anyone hasn't watched Legend, it does star Tom Cruise, but don't let that put you off. It is a very dark, mystical, like one of the best fantasy films that is out there that a lot of people don't know about. Just because I think it didn't do too well when it came out. It's very, very depressing at times, but it's beautifully
I do want to
shot.
watch it.
It's a bit of a cult film now, isn't it? 'Cause it's got a bigger following now than when it came out.
Oh, isn't that the case with most films though? Like it's like, but yeah, Ant loves Legend. Like he says one of the things that used to like really scare him and put him off watching it was not because of the clown aspect. It was just Tim Curry himself because of Legend. Yeah, because of Legend. Goodfell's just pointed out. Has anyone noticed that as Grant isn't on the podcast, there's no dodgy porn adverts? And he's so right. Last week we were inundated with them, and now there's not. And Grant's not here. Grant and Kev bring out the dirtiness.
Wow. I'm not going to comment on that because I'm not going to like cast aspersions on their character. But yes, well spotted. But Beth's just pointed out one that we've missed and we should have been talking about from the start. The xenomorph, the alien penis, the Geiger look and feel of this was absolutely beautifully done.
Beautiful.
But absolutely terrifying at the same time. But when you first saw it, it does it's so phallic, it's unbelievable.
Do aliens count as animals, or are they like a separate category? Do you think
that picture that what Kev showed me with the dog being the zine? Yeah, it's an animal.
I would class it as an animal because, as you said, it starts off like it's in an egg. It comes out like a spider.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't mean like xenomorph aliens. I just meant aliens in general.
Yeah. Well, ET's an alien, so it's an animal. It came to Earth and it scared people. It scared Charlotte.
I get what Charlotte's saying.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do because
are aliens animals, or are they
because
like a subcategory?
I would say subcategory, but I get what Paul's saying about this, the xenomorph, because it did hatch.
It comes out of people, doesn't it? So
out of an egg.
Yeah,
it's born from the same way a chicken is.
Yeah. It came first, chicken or the egg? Egg or the chicken? Chicken or the egg?
Xenomorph or the egg?
Facehugger or the egg?
No, because if it couldn't have Prometheus, it was engineered, so...
Yeah, we don't count that.
But yes.
I really like Prometheus.
I didn't mind it. I think
it was the last bit that annoyed the shite out of us.
Yeah. It's like they kind of painted themselves in a hole and they didn't know where to go, but...
They didn't allow the actors to move to the side.
We've already did a podcast, Beth, on aliens. It's
one Paul's not in.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good one.
Excuse you. It has one of the most epic rants of Nerdy Up North's history, and it's done by the great Grant. Please go and watch it. It is there in the playlist somewhere. Yes. Go on my TikTok. I cut it out. It's brilliant.
Just to come back to like the alien thing, we might do it. Like, say you could do a poll on the Facebook group to see if, like, say, would you class that? So that could be a discussion. That's if someone's bored can look at. But as you said, with one of the forms of the aliens being like that face hugger, like the spider element, I want to touch on, like I said, the role that spiders play in movies. Because, like I say, I'm not the biggest fan of spiders. I don't really get too scared of them. But there's certain movies that shit, like, fuck me up. Like Arachnophobia. I know they're remaking it now.
I love that film.
And I think Spielberg's got something to do with it as well. So it should be quite interesting.
Are you just shocked that I've seen it, Charlotte?
No, I was thinking spiders in movies, and I was thinking, how have we not mentioned one of the biggest animal movies, Jumanji? Because the spiders in that,
now, you know, it's all right.
The spiders in that absolutely terrified me for years, and then I watched it back a few years ago, and I was like, "That's terrible," because they're just plastic. They're awful. But I remember being absolutely terrified of them as a kid.
Well, we all know how my feelings are. Well, Charlotte, the first time I ever spoke to Charlotte was through a Zoom chat, and I was being harassed by a spider. And ended up getting the Hoover out on it. So Charlotte saw me at my best that day.
But to be fair though, I'm surprised Sammy hasn't mentioned the films that she loves and that I cannot stand. Well, it kind of stands a bit strong. I just find them tedious and overlong. Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, Shelob, man. Every
Shit.
spider that crossed my path is called Shelob, especially the one that used to live in my mum's back garden. If you've ever seen a garden spider and they've got the hard back on them, well, she was massive. She was about that big, and she used to live in my mum's conservatory, and I fucking loved that spider so much. She was called Shelob. She was my friend. I used to go and stand outside having a cigarette and talk to her. She used to come down, and then my dad moved her. I was fucking heartbroken. Yes.
Yes,
Lord of the Rings has some mythical creatures and one big, massive spider.
Yeah, and it was a film that even the trees got that bored. The trees decided to walk away.
Holy shit. We're going to go down this path again. It's a fucking great trilogy.
Aragog in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Aragog in Harry Potter.
Someone's just said that twice.
The creepiest thing in the world when it dies and you see Hagrid crying and it's on its back and its legs are in the air. It's horrible.
And that was going to make us laugh.
I've got a good story about that. Because I know, like Sam's been, but when I went to Florida with my lovely wife, my wife is terrified of spiders. Like literally, she will not. She's one of these that she'll not go in and leave a room if there's a spider. She'll scream for me to deal with it. I forgot to tell her that the Harry Potter ride, it has some elements to it that I forgot. So when we're on the Harry Potter, like actually sitting in the thing, I realised that because I've done it a few years before for me 30th, and this is like Nick's first time, and she was like really excited. She loves Harry Potter. I was going, oh yeah, you just fly around the castle in the broomstick, and I was going, shit, you go to the woods. So in this, it's because it's like a part roller coaster, part simulator where you're strapped in, and a lot of the rides in Florida are like this, where there's screens and there's animatronics, things that move you around, and you're getting your face like attached to like death. What they're called?
Death Eaters?
Not Death Eaters. Them are the bad guys. The Dementors. That's the one.
What's a Death Eater? Oh, that's Lord of the Rings.
No.
Death
Death
Eater
Eater
is
is
a
Harry Potter. It's
Voldemort
the bad.
Oh,
wizard.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry.
No, but the Dementors come in like a light shine in your face, so they're taking the happiness out of you, and you're like, oh shit. And as soon as you like go, come this way, Harry, and you turn away, and
So you Hagrid.
and all you see is the spiders drop down.
Oh,
And literally, Nick just shriveled in the seat, and like say that it wasn't like CGI; it was like animatronic spiders coming down at you, like it's, and you're flying about. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Oh, you horror for not
cried.
Helena. I'm getting a lot of Lord of the Rings love in the chat, so I'm loving this. But one of my favourite movies, and I will always class this as a modern day B movie, and I fucking love it, was and I can't remember the name of it. I've just been thinking of it the whole time.
Was it Eight-Legged Freaks by any chance?
Yes, thank you.
David Arquette.
Yes, I think it is a modern day B movie, like a modern day horror B movie. The spiders had emotion. if they got hurt, they were going, ouch. I thought it was fantastic. It's fantastically bad, but it was like that bad. I really enjoyed the shit out of it. It's really good. Go and watch Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, because the CGI started good for that. Then when the spiders start getting giant,
it was really awful. Bad. But it was so bad. But just to hear spiders going, ouch.
I think
so funny.
They made that after David Arquette made Scream, so they tried to like build on David Arquette's film, like semi-fame after he did Scream. He married Courtney Cox. And like I say, he was part of that aspect, and he started getting like a bit of a blip, like bit of a boost in his celebrity type thing, and they made that thinking, no, we're going to build on it. But yeah, it's one of them where, as you said, don't go in thinking expecting to be in it like it to be amazing film. It is literally just the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, but what we got out of that fame of David Arquette in that period of time was one of the greatest wrestling movies ever made. Ready to Rumble. No. Has no animals in it, but it's fucking fantastic. Goodwill's asking to stop with the spiders. Is there any more spiders in the movies?
No, but we'll move on to say a little bit more lighthearted. So, we did have a discussion before about what Gonzo is, And
someone found out?
No. I'm just something I thought would move on to the Disney realm a little bit, because one of the biggest debates and biggest controversies we did have in the Nerdy Up North community at the start, when someone dared to say that Goofy was a cow. Now, Goofy's a dog. He's not a cow. He had a relationship with a cow earlier on, but Goofy is not a cow. But
look how far we've come, guys. Yes. Look at the evolution of Nerdy Up North.
Oh, the shit went down when
I remember this. It got really heated.
I remember it got really, really heated. People were really passionate about that cow. Dog.
Yes, people got really upset. But I love Disney movies as a whole. And I think one of the things they do portray well is animals, as we mentioned, Robin Hood. But one of my favorite underrated Disney movies is the Goofy movie. It's just entertaining from start to finish.
I've never seen. I don't know what you're expecting of me these days, man.
You've got Disney Plus. Go and watch it.
Anthony absolutely loves this film and still sings the songs from it as well.
Oh, once you've seen it, you'll not get them out of your head.
Next week, can I have Anthony on?
He always says he's much more interested than me, so I guess. And you know what? One day I will actually get my husband on this podcast. Even if he just comes and sits with us, I will get my husband on this podcast because he's really interesting and he's seen more than me.
Well, I think we've had him on briefly when he was trying to fix your fuck up with the charity. So it's
right.
Rubbing your head, calm down, dear. Everything's going to be fine.
He was trying, because I was having an utter breakdown. And do you know what the irony of it all is? The only thing I had to change was from stop using the website and just use the app, and that would have been fine.
Technology, guys.
Technology is absolutely wasted on me. I will get my husband on here because he is much more interesting than me.
So what, one of my top Disney films, is the Goofy movie, for being so underrated. But again, it doesn't have to be Disney. But what is your favorite cartoon element of an animal, in the movies?
Let Charlotte go first.
Oh, get a list here now.
I love
not top 5.
I love Basil the Great Mouse Detective.
Yes.
I love that one. I think that one's really underrated.
Mm-hmm. Very much Sherlock Holmes though, so I know me and you as big Sherlock Holmes fans, so that was
when I was little, I was all about animals, the rescuers, animals leading human lives and having their own little society and their own little world, and I love Flushed Away. Yes. Flushed Away was brilliant.
I think I was a little bit older for Flushed Away because that was the clear.
That was
the people who'd done Wallace and Gromit.
It was Aardman.
Aardman, yeah.
So it was the first. It was still the Aardman style, but it was the first computer generated one after Chicken Run, I believe. It might have been a little bit later than that.
Cool. What about you, Sam? Have you thought of any yet? As she froze.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
The Aristocats, obviously, because it's the cats.
Yeah.
The film has some problematic moments in it, but it's still excellent for Thomas O'Malley. O'Malley the Alley Cat. The Aristocats for obvious reasons. Robin Hood because he was on Sexy Fox. There's no denying that.
I just love that they used basically recuts of basically the Jungle Book for the movie as well.
Absolutely.
I love the Jungle Book.
See, I don't like the Disney Jungle Book. I just no. But the live action one, that was fantastic. I have never been so scared of a Disney film in my entire life. It was brilliant. I was on a roller coaster with that movie. Thought it was brilliant.
The only thing that put us off about that was Christopher Walken's King Louis. When he started singing, "Ooby-doo, I wanna be."
Anyone else just hear that scream?
Yeah.
Is that you?
No.
There's kids outside playing. They always do it. So don't worry, I haven't murdered them. They're not in the
version.
Where
that was coming from.
I thought it was Charlotte. The way she said, "It's not you. It's you."
It was the kids outside.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken as King Louis is fantastic.
Yeah, but
Come
when
on,
when he starts singing, there was no singing in the movie. Like, all the way through the movie, then they start doing the whole King Louis.
Scooby-Doo. I can't do Christopher Walken. Oh,
But yes.
I wish I could though.
Have you seen Mowgli? Or...
No, I didn't watch that one. That one was supposed to be quite violent, though, wasn't it?
It was really good. It was heartbreaking, but it was really, really good. It had a really good voice cast. It was Benedict Cumberbatch and Kate Blanchett, and it was really good. It was a bit darker than the Disney sort of live action one, and the animation wasn't as good, but it was a really good story. It was a really good take on like the Mowgli character. But the original Disney Lion King, the original Disney Jungle Book was the first film I ever saw the pictures. I think it was like 3 or 4. So it always holds a special place for me.
Just thought of one, which is one of my favorite Disney films, is Peter Pan. It's a crocodile in it.
Yeah.
Nana the dog.
Tick tock, tick tock,
Yeah.
tick tock.
And he's gonna get hooked and eat his hand. No, I really love that film. Peter Pan is one of my favorite films ever. Like, I love it, even though again, incredibly problematic.
True, but like I say, at least Disney Plus put a warning on instead of cutting it, which I think is better than like what we're getting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we had this conversation at some point in the podcast before, but
I think
absolutely.
it was during the Disney episode with it.
I think it was about Peter Pan.
But yes, I've got, like I said, I'm the cartoon guy when it comes to like these type of things. But I one of my all-time favorites isn't a Disney, but it's like, there are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese.
Oh, I love this film.
Fievel! Papa! Fievel! Papa!
Oh, I love this film.
What a story about a Russian immigrant coming to America to find his and was abused by a giant rat and all the cats, and I mean the campest friend in the giant red kitty cat was just the best thing ever.
It was it Don Bluth or something did the cat's voice?
I think so, yes.
Something like that, wasn't it? Because there was a few of them about the same time, and he did a few animal voices.
Who?
Don Bluth.
He's like
I don't recognise the name.
You'll have seen him in loads of things, but he's one of these actors that he's voiced so many things. But I absolutely adored American Tail, and even the sequel, American Tail: Five Goes West, which was weird because he had this Russian kind of hat that when you turned inside out, turned into a cowboy hat all of a sudden. It's like, is that something that's always happened there? Is that something always been there? But
it's called magic, Paul. Movie magic.
Yes.
Wasn't John Cleese in this second one as well? Was it John Cleese?
Yes. I have actually seen these films.
I'm sure it was John Cleese, yeah.
I have
because there was a spider in the second one as well.
Yes, but the spider.
Sorry, Goodwill.
The spider just used to spit at things, and he's like, "Yeah, it's like a proper whistling old western." But actually, I felt sorry for Fievel because his dad used to make some poor choices. Like, let's go to America, everything will be fine. Let's go to out west, everything will be fine. It's like,
well, let's speak
of choices.
Let's speak of parents or animal parents making poor choices. Friggin' Nemo's dad.
Heartbreak just coming straight away. Like, how to start a film? Watching your mum getting mauled.
Exactly, and then being too overprotective of your son that he decides to go and bugger off and run away from you. Like, did he run away or did he float away? He went away, but
he got stolen.
His little fin.
His little tiny fin, Nemo, and loves Finding Nemo. Like, he really gets all kiddish when it comes on. Like, he loves it.
I love the seagulls in it. Mine.
If we're talking Pixar, Up. The animals in Up.
Squirrel.
just not. I mean, Doug is the standout, but the birds. Just when they actually, I can't remember what it's called, but when they actually get there and you see like all the creatures in the jungle and stuff like that, Up's beautiful.
And I love the Doberman one where the voice thing's broken and he's talking in a really squeaky voice. It's supposed to be really medicine, but he's talking like this. It was always entertaining. But I'm surprised you didn't go with one of the recent ones for Animal.
Turning Red.
I'll find it up for you there.
Brilliant. Oh, Turning Red. Who doesn't want a giant red panda as a friend?
Yes. to be fair, though.
They're the cutest things.
I've not seen it.
Oh, you should.
Oh,
You would actually
It's
enjoy it.
new, so I can get away with that one. It's fairly new.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like I said, because I know that, like I say, I'll get the rant out. I think I had a rant about this last time. Like, if grown men have a problem with about a film that talks about teenagers and girls having periods, and that's your problem with a Disney film, get fucked. So,
Yeah, get in the fucking sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you and Michaela had a really good rant about that. I'm sure it was Michaela.
Yeah.
Michaela would have been good on this one. She likes animals. She's probably seen a lot more movies than I have.
As long as she didn't have another argument, it'll be fine.
We didn't argue. Me and my sister don't fight. We're best friends.
I'm gonna throw a little curveball in here as well, because one of Sam's favorite films. I don't know if you would class these as animals or just like other beings. Would you class Ghostbusters of having animals in with the ghosts being? Because Slimer wasn't technically.
Well, what is Slimer?
Yeah, but it's John Belushi.
Like what? No, yeah, that is that. But what is Slimer?
Yeah.
Like
It's
if
like
you
a
had
pet
to
dog.
describe Slimer. But in the cartoon series, he kind of was.
Mm-hmm.
He was. And I know Fanwell Martin's just going to go yes because it's Ghostbusters. But yeah, what is Slimer?
I mean, if
Had devil dogs, demon dogs.
they
They had terror dogs!
If fictional animals count, then do like supernatural ones?
Yeah.
But like terror dogs.
Yeah.
It
and
has dog in
hellhounds
the
and-
title though.
Yeah.
Terror dog.
Mm-hmm.
The
'Cause
dog.
I mean, arguably, the crow is kind of a supernatural
Mm-hmm.
creature,
but
like
it's a
animal.
crow.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
See?
kind of along the same lines.
See, and if we're going to go along the lines of like these type of movies that are coming out, like because Ghostbusters came around as good time, and one of the best, and I'll give it 90s films because it just creaked into the 90s, and it was the first movie I watched on a pirate videotape in VHS was Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles.
And it had a Goonies reference in because one of the voices for Donatello was Corey Feldman.
Excellent.
That's two. You don't get one next time.
Brilliant. You do not get one next week.
You don't know me.
But it's so funny that was the first pirate movie, Dodgy Up North and everything. Mine was Jurassic Park.
Oh, I think I got a copy of Jurassic Park. He couldn't say anything, so it was just pointless. So I never watched it.
I could see everyone in the cinema if that counts, but I could also see the movie.
Yeah.
That's how it worked back in the day, Charlotte. You had to watch the people watching it.
She's not that
So
young.
you-
She's not that young. She's not that young.
She's around about the same age as my sister.
I was just born in the 80s. Just.
Seriously?
Oh, are you an 89 kid?
I'm a June 89 kid.
Yes.
Michaela's a January 89 kid.
Mhm.
So just 80.
So yeah, you hold on to that year. Michaela certainly does.
But that's a good one though. Like, did dinosaur movies count as animal movies? Because
Of course they do.
technically they were.
Yeah, 'cause
Animals,
it was an
weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll talk about Sam's sad moment when they're leaving the island in Jurassic World. And that Brontosaurus is like the fires and it falls down in the smoke.
Is it the Brontosaurus?
Yeah.
The
It's like
long neck.
it's my favorite.
Oh,
It's my
God.
favorite dinosaur ever.
It's
And-
heartbreaking.
Oh, Charlotte, I'm feeling my eyes welling up right now.
Mhm.
Yes.
I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it. I will never watch that film again. What's he doing? Oh no. Oh,
Is he gonna-
it's okay. I thought he was going to recreate it with a Brontosaurus.
It's that thing again.
Dude, I can't make the noise he made. It's a... What are you doing?
That should be like the end of the podcast. Just pause
Oh,
that,
yeah,
like
you know-
like the Gerard monster.
It's Buffy, yeah. Like, you should have pulled his gun like that. Honestly, this is what happens, guys, when we don't come prepared.
This is what happens when we don't
This-
sleep and
this is
don't come
when-
prepared.
This is what happens when Charlotte doesn't bring notes.
Sorry.
You know, the SunnyCon was like militant because Charlotte had notes. I think Paul's broke his mic doing that. It's just me and you now, Charlotte.
Oh well.
Are you good?
Is it working yet?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
What's your favourite dinosaur then?
Oh, Brontosaurus.
This guy?
It's not real though.
Oh.
That's not what they look like.
No.
No, that's not what they look like.
No,
They are. It's obviously a real dinosaur, but it was.
It was smaller, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have the thingies, and it doesn't
doesn't
spit
have
the thing out. Yeah, so that. But you can go with that. It was in Jurassic Park.
Mine is the headbutty one from. Oh, what's it
Oh,
called?
has it got like the horns?
Yeah, I've got it on my leg. Stygie something.
The ones where the neck like kind of went like that, and it's like forms and it goes poof type thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you have
that
it
one.
tattooed on your leg.
I have one tattooed on my leg. I'm gonna have to get it out now. aren't I?
Yeah. Show and tell.
I don't know if you're gonna be able. You're not even gonna be able to see it.
Guys, you might get Charlotte's feet here, guys. Get ready.
You ready, guys? This is the moment you've been waiting
Can
for.
you see it?
It's Charlotte's leg. Oh yeah.
Cute.
Oh, that's cute. Is it a Pokemon one?
No, it's.
Oh,
it's,
sorry.
I think it's like drawn in that style.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't want to insult you, tattoo. It's really cute. I think I have actually seen that before.
Probably. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Paul, without breaking your mic.
Probably it's like say when I watched Jurassic Park, I guess I was always obsessed at the time. We didn't call it a T-Rex; it was the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was when Jurassic Park came out. They give it the little nickname that we got. Like that's when T-Rex was born, type thing. But
yeah,
I was always into like how massive and how like amazing it looked, and like say with being like I could never get round the fact that as well it had tiny little arms. It just like say the most ridiculous things that you could ever think of, and it was just like say brilliantly done. Like well done, God, for creating that shit.
yes,
I think everybody falls in love with the T-Rex.
Absolutely.
At the end of Jurassic Park, that noise, the roar that it makes.
Yeah.
Everybody
and the banners dropping. It's
just that
beautiful.
moment.
But then you get that back in the new one, on the first one, where you realize that the T-Rex that's come to save the day is the one for you see his scars, and you're like, you do get that moment again. I know Kev's not a big fan of the last one, but I didn't mind it. Honestly, it took a while to get there, to get into it, but and I will never watch the second one again, ever. So if Ant wants to watch the trilogy again, 1 to 3. I absolutely adore Jurassic Park 2. It's like, I dare say it better than the first one. I loved it so much. It had some great dinosaurs in it. The third one's shite though.
To be fair though, like say everyone's got their own opinion and everyone likes things differently, but that's a statement.
A bold one at that.
Yeah. Like say some of the biggest mistakes, well, like I know we don't normally talk about negative things, but things that should have worked and should have been better. Like one of my biggest disappointments, because I was a big fan of the comic and the cartoon, was Garfield. You couldn't ask for a better voice, like Bill Murray, to do the voice of Garfield, and it kind of just wasn't what it wanted to be, like it should have been. Like I say, that was probably one of my gutted like things when we got. But like I say, not to rain on, like I say, be all negative and stuff, but everything that I wanted to. And when they announced Garfield, I was really excited as well for that. But Martin's just pointed out as well, and the one that we haven't talked about, which I'm gutted about, Binks.
No, he's saying Thackeray, but I thought it was Zachary.
I think it was Thackeray.
Was it Thackeray?
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was Zach right up until that moment where he put and I know Martin wouldn't have been wrong. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking to myself, I genuinely thought that was Zachary Binks.
I think it sounds like that when Thora Birch's character says it, but because he's from the oldie time and stuff like that sort of thing.
So they just chuck a TH in there. just like the oldie.
Just give it some provenance as well. But moving on, like, 'cause I know, like I say, we've been talking a while, but there's certain things I wanted to touch on as well that I don't think we've quite touched That didn't meant to say it that way.
What are we touching now, Paul?
Comic book movies. Animals in comic book movies.
Oh, go on, yeah.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rocket's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like, not just movie wise, like comics as well. Like, he is such a brilliantly put together animal. Like, he really is.
And if the rumors are true, we're going to get his story in the next Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's going to be quite.
Who pointed that out? I feel like someone pointed that out to us, or pointed it out to me, because I would never have thought that on my own. I want to say Kev. Could it have been Kev?
Probably.
Yeah, most likely. Oh, probably. Do you know what? Might as well not watch it and just let Kev tell us what's going to happen, because he nearly did it for Scream.
Yeah. For Scream.
That scared us, that Charlotte.
But also Howard the Duck. Like I say, I've never looked
Howard
at
the Duck.
Look at ducks the same way.
She genuinely thought Howard the Duck was a horror movie when I was a kid.
We've just had a big animal superhero movie come out. Well, it's a big animal superhero movie. DC Pets.
Oh yeah, I saw a poster for that.
With The Rock and Kevin Hart and Keanu Reeves as Batman.
Does Kevin Hart and The Rock not just, is their contracts now just to work together?
I think they're just keeping each other in the business.
I think they've actually found mates and actually enjoy themselves. It's nice to watch and nice to see.
Yeah. Do you know what? What's that one they did together? Central.
It was terrible, but it was entertaining. Just
I thought it was hilarious. I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. I'm trying to think of. Oh my God, Goose. Was it Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Who is real name is Chewie.
Blurg. What was it?
A Blurgen, I think.
Yeah.
He's a Flurgan.
Flurgan, that's it.
Flurgan. Yeah, in the comics, Rocket will not go anywhere next to this cat because the cat in the comics is called Chewie, and he will not go anywhere next to this cat, and he keeps trying to tell them it's Flurgan, and nobody has any idea what he's referring to. It's kind of the same as what the Skrull does.
Yeah,
it's just Rocket constant, but Rocket literally tries to fling this cat into space.
And if we're going DC again, I know it's not technically an animal, but I'd say Michelle Pfeiffer was amazing as Catwoman.
I mean,
let's just talk about Catwoman. Like,
she was trained by cats, I guess.
She was eating. You know, she was. Yeah.
They had something to do with it.
Oh yeah, Croc Loki. Loki, yes.
The TV show, not movies, not letting you have it.
Oh, for God's sake!
Stick to the rules, guys.
Groot,
who's a tree.
Groot's a tree.
Tree, still an animal.
But he's a tree.
But he's alive.
Yeah.
But he's a tree.
Stop being a treeist. What about an ent? What about an ent in Lord of the Rings?
Oh my God, Anthony and Ant-Man, his little ant buddy who. Oh my God, he dies.
No, the ants are cool in Ant-Man. But if you're going to talk about ants, the ant in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, don't.
Oh.
When it fights the scorpion.
Oh, man. Why?
He fucking dies and all. Poor ants. Poor Anthony, rest in peace.
The culture will take a moment for Ant.
And do you know what, though? Ant's in the next room and he'll be going, "What you shouting at me name for?"
It comes in, "What do you want?"
He don't, because the last time he did that, he scared the shit out of us and I screamed down Paul's ear.
That was doing a Phantasmo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's when I first got my headset, and obviously, like, I wasn't used to the fact that I can't actually hear anything else around us, and he'd come up behind us and put his hand on my head. I screamed down my headset. Horrible shit.
So, just to finish off as well, there's a few things I think to mention. I think we haven't mentioned as well, like the portrayal of monkeys and like the primates in movies as well. We have had quite a lot of them from, like, say, Outbreak, King Kong, which we mentioned. What's the one with the Rock in? Rampage, which was just absolutely ridiculous fun.
I've never seen it.
It's just entertaining.
One movie I genuinely thought we would bring up, because it's one of Paul's favourite movies of all time, and it has lions, tigers, bears. Oh my! Wizard of Oz. I generally thought because you've got monkeys in there, you've got lions in there, you've got multicolored horses in there.
I was going to leave it last, but like I say, it's fine.
Oh, have I ruined it?
You ruined the surprise. But no,
let's talk about the world's horriblest film.
The most magical and breathtaking movie with, like I say, as long as you weren't behind the scenes during the filming.
As long as you weren't one of the stars.
Yeah. Like the poor Dorothy and Julie Andrews, who basically was kept on drugs so she wouldn't eat, so she wouldn't get fat.
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland, sorry. It's been a long day. Judy Garland, who was basically drugged so she wouldn't eat or gain weight.
Oh, yeah. Hollywood had her on a leash when it came to pills.
Wasn't she like corseted under her dress and stuff? Yes. She just had a baby.
That, and they wanted to make her look so young, so they used to tape her down. And Hollywood had it ideal, as in when they did the Renée Zellweger film. I generally thought they were going to get their ass handed to them. I really thought they were going to go hard, and they didn't even fucking scratch the surface.
No.
Devastated. That is another time for another podcast.
Yes. But like I say, as you said, the flying monkeys, Toto, the dog that never played well. They just used to run and chase everyone and bark. It was just hilarious to watch.
He's got his own little grave as well at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Bless him, because he's not going to live now. He would have been a canny old dog if
he was still very much dead.
So was the Tin Man after the lead poisoning nearly killed him.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. I'm sure I heard that. You probably told us.
Yeah, like I say, the lion. Like I say, the flying monkeys were just terrifying and stuff, and everything. Like the horse of the horse of 100 colors or 1,000 colors?
It's the only bit of the movie I generally like watching because Technicolor really fascinates me, and just to know that them horses were changing because of Technicolor was like, wow.
I was like that when I was little. I was fascinated by it.
Yeah, it's like because at the time when you're younger, CGI is not a thing. Like it's not like it is today, where I know a computer can do that. They did that with magic.
Yes, they did.
The sad thing is they probably painted the horses, but we're not going to.
Oh my God, Paul, stop it.
But yes. And like I say, we'll not talk about the Munchkin orgies as well, because we don't want to get Goodwill all excited again.
I don't think Goodwill's with us. Oh, he is. Yeah, he's there.
But he's already said must not.
Not mention Munchkin seediness. The monkey in Jay and Silent Bob is called Suzanne.
Suzanne.
You're all that I wanted of a girl. I was singing that in the car today.
But if you're going to talk about Jay and Silent Bob movies, like say the cow. Like say that
Mubi!
Yeah, Mubi, the cow. They like say the mascot that in Dogma that they praised more than God. So like Bardius and like say angels, they can class as animals. Like
you really are stretching.
We're going spiritual there, mate.
To be fair though, like say they're a mythical beast, so
touche.
Yes. Well, I think before we start getting myself into trouble, we'll kind of leave it on that note.
But let's leave it on the angel, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah, let's not end an animals and movie podcast on The Wizard of Oz, where there was probably a couple of animals abused.
To be fair though, Dogma had a poop monster. Poop monster was an animal.
Yeah, especially if they're painting fucking horses.
No.
Jesus Christ. I thought that scene was so magical, and Paul's like, they were probably painted.
Well, it could be like Scrooge with Bill Murray when he tells him this safety pin, the staple, like the antlers on the mouse. Don't you dare!
It's when Karen Allen does that. No.
Beth's just mentioned on actually Steve in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the monkey with the helmet on it that can talk, and it just goes Steve, and it's actually Neil Patrick Harris that does the voice. That was a good one. I've
seen that film as well.
Brilliant.
I did have like my nephews were at one point young, so I did watch them type of films with them.
Brilliant.
Oh, yes. I just want to leave on the last note to finish off. Question we've always asked, and we've still never got the answers to, with there being an animal podcast, what the fuck happens when you piss on Gizmo?
It's like that. It's that question that we will forever be looking for the answer for.
We need to know.
We need to know.
What
if anyone wants to go and piss on a gremlin,
then tell her.
Still gotta get
oh my God! I've just had a thought. I'll tell you after the end of the podcast.
But yes, and actually to finish off, because this one ties in nicely to next week's episode.
It does.
Oh, it does.
One of the best on-screen animals that you saw very little of, but scared the fucking life out of you is Bruce the shark in Jaws.
And if you want to hear us talk about Bruce, come and join us next Sunday, where we'll have a full-on fucking chat about it.
Yes. So we are reviewing Jaws next week.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that one.
I think Kev's coming back to Nathan.
Yes.
We do try and keep it very non-political and non-religious. Well, in the group we do. I'd like to say I'm going to hell for some of my sins, but I think next week is going to get a little bit political as well in the discussion. So that one should be interesting, and I am very much excited. It is one of my all-time favourite movies. And we're not going to talk about the sequels. We're just going to talk straight away.
Oh, thank God for that.
About Jaws and what it meant to us and how it affected us and how it changed our viewing experience for a lot of people. But yes, so thank you guys. Thank you, Charlotte, for putting up with our ramblings. And even though you've got a snoring dog,
this has to be one of like the best podcasts we've done for a while. Like just fucking throwing caution to the wind, pissing in the wind, and all that other stuff in the wind.
Hoping it hits a gremlin.
Hoping it hits a gremlin, and we find out what happens to it. But honestly, my stomach muscles are killing me from laughing.
It's a little Bucky moment, you know, when the aliens.
That's what we were talking about before you broke your mic.
Damn it. But yes, like I say, please follow us. Like I say,
please
most
come back.
Hope you enjoyed it. Most of you do follow us on the Facebook group. It's, like I say, I hope, and like I say, we're doing a poll to name the favorite ever computer game. Which, like I say, please don't let Sonic the Little Whore win. I will be devastated. But yes, and join Charlotte's Book Club. Like I said, and I think we're gonna be live on Twitch on Tuesday if we can arrange something. I know Jake's off work, so we've got some. So if I think you're off work as well, are you, Sammy?
Always. On a Tuesday, I don't work Tuesdays. Thank you so much to everyone who's been in the chat tonight. You've been all absolutely fantastic. Like it really has been such a fun night. Thank you.
Yes. And be careful if you look at Goodwill's search history when he's searching Munchkin porn or Munchkin orgies. We know he does look for that.
We know you, but we see you, Michael. We see you.
But yes, same bat time, same bat channel, guys.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.